Hi, my name is Nick and I play guitar in the Eagle and Child, and today I would like to talk with you about the guitar parts that I play on the song Nothing Like Your Love. I'm going to break this up into a few sections here and talk about some of the notes I play and then and the effects I use, and then at the end I'll play through the whole song. So. Something to note is, as a band, we play, we tune our guitars a half step down, and so they're, I guess you could say they're in the key of E flat, but it's every note's just a half step down. So I'm going to go ahead and actually play in that tuning so that it matches the song. So if you're trying to play along, you can just tune each note down a half step and play along. The intro to this song, I use a looper pedal, and I use a reverb that's one of my favorite reverbs. It's a big, giant hall, and I'll go ahead and just show you the reflections on it. If I just strike it muted, you'll hear how big and long it is. So it's really giant and complex, and the mix is fairly loud on it. And then what I'll be using the looper for is I'll start recording a loop, and then after I'm done with the loop, and I get ready to play the rest of the song, I'll put the loop on reverse, and then at certain points I'll make it go twice as fast, which also jumps the pitch up a full octave. One full octave. All right. As the song starts, I just kind of keep some time. I'm not going to do the looper part right now. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the notes. So I'm just hanging out on the 3rd fret on the high E string. This whole intro's all on the high E string here. So I'm just kind of doing some backbeat stuff. I do that, and then I hit the looper and it starts recording, and then I start kind of sliding up, and I'm just moving around just to kind of create some motion as things engage. So then I jump up to the 8th fret, and I'm just playing some 8th notes on the right hand. And I slide up to the 10th fret, and I go down to the 5th fret, and then I jump all the way up to the 15th fret, and I slide down to the 12th fret, and then I slide from the 10th fret to the 8th fret. And then the song kind of hits its 2nd phrase, and I'll jump back up to the 15th fret, and then I'll slide all the way up to the 17th fret, 12th fret, and back down to that little slide from the 10th to the 8th, and I just kind of hang out there. And then at this point of the song, I will start the reverse on my looper, and that will carry throughout the rest of the song. So I'm going to go ahead and try that for you now. Those of you who aren't familiar with the Ditto 4, it's a great looper pedal. It has 2 different loops you can create right here, and you can set how the modes work on it. And then there's a really handy stop button, and then there's a effects switch, and you have your option between reverse, half speed, which also drops the pitch down an octave. You can play it once. You can do an effects stop where it sounds like a tape machine stopping, drops the pitch. You can have it fade out, or you can have it jump up an octave and do double time, or you can also have a little stutter function. They call it hold. All great functions. I'm only using the reverse and the double time on this song though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. At the end of the chorus, I will hit the stop button, And then you might have noticed I switched over to the double speed beforehand, because what I'm going to do is during that break I'm going to really quickly hit the double time, and then I'm going to hit the start, and it'll be twice as fast for the rest of the song. Alright, so now for the chorus of the song, I'll use a boost on it for the second half of it, but for the most part, it's just this Gothic Hall reverb that I use. I'm going to start on the D string on the 7th fret, and then it goes on the G string from the 5th fret up to the 7th fret, and then it goes up to the B string and it goes on the 5th fret and on the 8th fret. And then the phrase lands back on the 7th fret on the D string. So for the second half of the phrase, it starts again on that 7th fret on the D string, and then it repeats what it did before, and it goes to the 5th fret and then the 7th fret on the G string, and then it actually walks down, starting on the 8th fret of the B string down to the 5th fret, and then 7th fret, 5th fret on the G string, and it lands back on the 7th fret of the D string. So this is what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. So that's the chorus, and that is what happens on every chorus, every time. Alright, so on the second verse, I used the tone bender, which is a copy of a 60s fuzz, which is pretty nasty, and it really does just sound awful in a really awfully great way. So the 8th fret is the note where we're going to start on, and I'm going to bend it up a whole step, which is the same thing as 2 frets up. That's the pitch I'm going for, and then I'm going to bend it up like this, and I'm going to go down to the 5th fret, and I'm going to go from the 1st fret, slide up to the 8th fret, and repeat that. Here's what it sounds like with the fuzz. So for this bridge, I love this part. It's really fun. There's a lot of bends on it, which I love bends. And real quick, I'm going to talk a lot about half steps and whole steps. I just want to kind of reiterate the difference. So a half step, when I talk about a half step bend, is just going to be the equivalent of a single fret. I just bend it. So that's when I say half step. And when I say whole step, that's going to be the equivalent of 2 frets. But I bend it. So I'm going to use those a lot because there's so many bends. So just for your reference, that's what that means. G string, 4th fret, half step. G string, 9th fret, half step. And then from there, I go to the B string and I bend a whole step from the 8th fret up to the 13th fret, and it's another whole step. On the second half of this part, it's very similar. There's one minor variation. So again, I go to the G string, 4th fret, and I bend a half step. Up to the 9th fret, another half step. And then I go to the B string, 13th fret, and I bend a whole step. And then I go up to the 17th fret, and I bend a half step. Don't overshoot those bends. And now I'm going to play the whole part clean, just so you have a sense of how that all fits together. Do it one more time. Okay, so now the fun part, the effects. I have a deluxe memory man, and I have it set to a very quick slapback setting with sort of a single repeat. It sounds like this. But then what I do is I add, after the delay, I add my 70s Big Muff Fuzz pedal. And what'll happen is you'll notice that since the delay is going into the fuzz, it just sounds a little crazy. So without the delay, the fuzz sounds like. With the delay, it sounds like this. So now I'm going to play the part for you. And that's that. And from there, it goes into the solo. And so I actually use those same settings for the solo, but I get to do some really fun stuff. So Brad and I double the melody on that, and he plays it kind of straight ahead, 2 octaves higher than me. And then I'm going to play it on the low octave, but I'm going to do all the bends, which are really fun. All right, so now I'm gonna stand up and we'll play through the whole song.
Spirit of heaven, there is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. Oh Lord of heaven, there is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. Your love is making space. Your heart is generosity. You made an open place beside you. Your love is running free. Your heart is calling out to me. You made an open place beside you. Spirit of heaven, there is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. Lord of heaven, there is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. There is nothing like your love. Your love is making space. Your heart is generosity. You made an open place beside you. Your love is running free. Your heart is calling out to me. You made an open place beside you. Boundaries, crashing ways into the world. Under bridges, over buildings, overtaking me. It's your love that travels backwards to rebuild our yesterdays. So holy name of glory, come awaken me. Come awaken me. Your love is making space. Your heart is generous.